Good Tuesday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. As we begin this day together, 46 right now. Wind chill of 44, but it's going to gain about 20 degrees. 64 our high for today. It's going to be warm, isn't it? Nice weather. So all that's lined up for us. We do have a few sprinkles possible between now and 9 o'clock this morning as we quickly go over and take a look at what we're showing on radar. Most of this showing up in northern Mississippi. It was go to Meridian Honda radar. Here we are here on the east side of Mississippi. Most of this natches a sprinkle or two this morning. As we zoom into this, it'll be up around Stark, Vegas that we've got showers. Eupora, Calhoun City, up to Water Valley, those areas there. And across from Bamaland, Decatur, Alabama, north of Birmingham. A lot of that in Anniston area as well. Nothing major. Not quite like what we had yesterday morning with those sleet. Do y'all remember that? That was out of nowhere, wasn't it? I hope all is well. You've had a good night's rest. A few of you, I'm sure, that are getting up or watching now pull that overnighter, getting ready to go in, having worked an all-night shift. Whichever the case is, I'm glad you chose us to be a part of what's going on. Several things in the community. We'll talk about what happened last night, what we're investigating, what we're trying to find out that is going on across the city and the areas that you live in. A lot of things have happened across the state as well as we get this day underway. All right, let's head out to Collinsville. We've got JJ in this morning. He's going to tell us a little bit, well, this time of year where we all get sick. Let's see what JJ has to say from the great folks out at Collinsville Baptist.
During this time of the year, I stay perpetually sick. There's usually not a day that goes by that I don't have a sinus headache or drainage or a stuffy nose. It just comes with the season. You know, without Jesus, we are all sick spiritually, and He is the only medication that can heal us from the disease of sin. When Jesus came to earth, He spent time hanging around the tax collectors and those looked down on by society. The religious leaders of the day questioned Him, wondering why He would hang out with anyone like that. Jesus responded by telling them that those who were well did not need a doctor, but it was those who were sick that were in need. Are you in need of healing spiritually? Do you need to repent of your sins and place your faith in Jesus? And if you have experienced the healing power of Jesus, will you be like Him? Will you go and tell people about the power to save that is found only in Him? Because remember, change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. It's that time again, Christmas open house at Hickory Pickin' and the Red Goat General Store. It all happens November the 26th from 9 in the morning until 5 that afternoon. If you're looking for yard decorations or stockings, anything Christmas, they have it for you. And one of my favorites, samples and refreshments, sales throughout the store, and Christmas music playing to get you in the holiday spirit. It's the annual Christmas open house at Hickory Pickin' and the Red Goat General Store, exit 115 in Hickory. And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we begin this day together. Hope everything is well in your world. As we start out, we did have some reports last night. As we'll go into the details of what we had last night, we did have some reports of shooting throughout the area. As we go to show you some maps here, let me show you what's happening this morning. As we pull this up, it was near Highland Park that we had gunshots reported, right there on Highland Park Drive in this area along in here. Somewhere around 8 shots were reported in that area. Not good, is it? Now, no one hurt, no damage reported in that area. We would also go to the west side of Meridian. We would hear somewhere along the same lines of number of shots also in that area. Western Gardens right along in here. This would be Old Highway 80 out past the Rustler here before you get out to the stop sign there. Some shots reported in there. Now, again, no damage or injury reported at this time as we do this. I also had reports of gunshots. Our usual area. This is becoming an all too common occurrence on 24th as we go up through here. This is somewhere around 8 shots that I was told, right up through here, around the Dollar General in this general area right here. Be careful in those areas. It seems to have some issues going on there. Why, I don't know. So we'll find out who, what, and how with all of that. We're not real sure, but that happens a lot there. Now, some areas to be concerned with that we're watching this morning as I'm getting some possible reports. We don't have confirmation yet. If you own a business on 8th Street, it would not hurt to go in a little bit early and check your businesses. I've heard of possibly a break-in or two in that area this morning. We don't have all the details yet, but if you own a business in that area, send someone by to check on things. Also, the North Hills area, possibly some break-ins in that area. We haven't gotten it all, but if you own a business on North Hill Street, it would not hurt to either go in a little early, check your camera, see if anything went on with that. As this develops, I'll have more information beginning at 8 o'clock, but everything is leaning toward that at this point. We'll find out more information here in just a little bit as we begin all of this. We'll let you know here in just a little bit. That went away. All right, as we come across, let's take a look at a few other things that have happened in our area. A calm day overall for us throughout most of the area yesterday. We had a few fender benders here and there, but nothing that was major or upsetting, which is good. We needed a day or two like that, didn't we? Let's hope that continues as we roll toward Thanksgiving. Y'all believe it's that close? Wow. Now, I don't know if y'all remember this. Lincoln County, Mississippi, 5 or 6 months ago, there was a FedEx guy. And the best I remember the story is he was delivering packages, and one of those times they were either overbooked or a vehicle was broke down, and FedEx had used a different vehicle that was unmarked, I think. A father and son team assumed without any justification that it was somebody in the neighborhood that didn't need to be there. This is where someone crosses a line, and I don't understand how anybody could do this or why, but they tried to block the guy in. Again, he's just delivering packages. He didn't stop. I wouldn't either if I was driving a delivery truck, and they commenced to shooting at him. The vehicle had bullet holes all in it. He reported it. They have now been charged with attempted murder. That's a step up. This reminds you of the thing that happened over in Georgia. They tried to block the guy in. He wouldn't stop. And again, I don't blame him one bit. I would have kept right on going there. Delivering package, getting shot at. We'll find out what sentencing is going to be, but Lincoln County is where this all happened. This is a pretty big deal. They'll be spending some time in jail over this. We'll find out before long. Father and son duo. We go to Jackson, Mississippi next. What's going on in Jackson? Belhaven. We all know that area. Pretty nice neighborhood in the Jackson area. This is on the increase. We see it more and more coming to where carjackings are up. Do you remember the car that was found in Meridian not long ago? Well, it was from a carjacking that happened to a grandmother who was taking her grandkids to school. It was carjacked. This time, it happened in Belhaven. The car was stolen. Before you know it, shots are fired later, and now a death. It's all tied together in Jackson as investigators try to piece it all together. Boy, am I glad I'm not a cop in Jackson, Mississippi. We go to Vicksburg, a few miles west of there, for our next story this morning. What happened? It was a big party. A lot of teenagers wanted in. Well, they said, nope, no more in the house. We can't hold anymore. An argument broke out in the yard. Shots were fired by some people, and as they tried to attempt, as they were shooting in the air, they ran over a teenager. Hopefully he's going to be all right. But he was struck by a vehicle there. Anybody ever remember that old saying, nothing good ever happens after midnight? And boy, oh boy, it comes clear every day that folks need to be at home in the bed, and that would really take care of half of the problems we have. We'll talk more about that coming up this morning. So we'll have another special guest filling in for Candace this morning. Oh, it's going to be fun. Amanda with Snowden Real Estate will be here today. She's going to be filling in. We'll discuss all this a little bit more. Shad White has been busy in the state of Mississippi as he announced. Do y'all remember the fiasco that happened in Jackson, Mississippi, the election commission scandal where they were spending money on this and that and the other? He's, demanded $173,000 from Cedric Cornelius. He has pleaded guilty to 3 counts of fraudulent writing to defraud the government, 2 counts of false statements, 1 count of conspiracy, and 1 count of bribery of a public official in connection with the ongoing Hinds County Election Commission investigation. Like that Shad White, don't y'all? He had to have. Let's just admit it. I've never known anybody by that name. He had to have been called Chad all his life, but it is Shad. y'all look to hear more from him as this keeps going. I think we'll hear him running for some bigger office at some point. Too much of a name here. Gulfport, Mississippi. Let's go to the Gulf Coast, out to the Gulf of Mexico, there where the border of Mississippi is. We have a man that's going to serve the rest of his life in prison. He is 67 years old now. This has been going on for 10 plus years as witnesses finally come forward and say it happened to them. And it all boils down to 3 counts of sexual battery upon minors. They were too scared to talk. But as all of them confessed with what happened, he's been arrested. The rest of his life he will be there on children. It all started when one young girl was 12 years old. Numerous times. We don't know how lucky we are, do we? We should all thank God that we grew up in homes that we never went through this. Unfortunately, there's folks that weren't that lucky in life. I feel for them, and I know you do too. And for those of us who had a life that you never experienced anything like that, it's just horrible to sit back and think about what children go through that we really don't know. I pray for them, and I hope you will too, because the sad part is somewhere in America, maybe it's next door to you now, that is going on, and we have no idea that it is. Unless a child finally gets the courage to speak up, we'll never know. Pray that darkness comes to light. It's the best I know how to put it there. This next one, this is becoming, we saw this, where was that? Where the lady broke the guy out of jail in Alabama. Do you remember that? To where, a prison guard becomes, is the word friendly? Is that where I'm going with this? Friendly with maybe a prisoner? Didn't go that far, but we do see that a former Mississippi prison guard is indicted for reportedly having whoopee with an inmate. She's quit. She quit 2 weeks before she got caught, but they've got evidence. She was 42 years old. This all happened at the Lowndes County Adult Detention Center. A little fling was going on there. Officer Margaret Hughes has been indicted. Whoops. I'll leave it at that. Y'all fill in the blanks. We'll see what happens. And again, until you're 100% proven guilty, you're innocent. Indicted, we'll see what happens on that. Forest County, do you remember us talking a few weeks ago about the body that was found in a wooded area? They're releasing a little bit more on this, and as we go to our friends over at Dark Horse Press who've been investigating this heavily, and the Forest County Sheriff's Office has been releasing pictures of things that were found there. Rings. I don't know if you've seen this yet or not, but this is what our friends released there. Anybody recognize those? We'll share this in a little while where you can get a really good look at that. Hopefully that will help identify somebody that was found there. Don't think they were robbed if that was left, do you? How sad it is. Pike County. Nothing like a good traffic stop for not turning your signal on or something. And it usually leads to other things. Yeah, had a bunch of marijuana up in the car with them. 2 people were arrested. They got a quick trip to jail there. 180 grams of it. Whew. And there's some various other drugs that I don't even know what they are that was in the car. I'm one of those that truly does not know a lot about that particular type. I know there's a lot of people that are so well educated on the different types of drugs and things that are in the communities. I just don't know much. That has not been one that I've ever been around or studied up on a lot. Some dangerous stuff out there. I do know that much. And there's folks that want to sell it to your kids and get people addicted. Happens every day. This is a huge deal, whether you like her politics or not. She was come from Mississippi. She is a big deal in the world. She's a big influence. Oprah is who I'm talking about. And as we all know, that she has this list that she puts out every year. It's a Christmas list of things to buy. And boy, if you ever make it to that list, it means business is good for you. For 2 years in a row, a company in Madison, Mississippi has made it to the list. We congratulate them for making it. Madison, Mississippi, congratulations. Alicia Pickering's Soap and Bath Bomb Company has made it to there. Of course, that'll bump up her business tremendously to be on that for Christmas, won't it? Congratulations to them. That's a big deal. As we look along of what's going to be happening in 2 days from now, and you're probably seeing it now. A lot of folks, kids are out of school. People are leaving home early, traveling home to see mom, grandma. Thanksgiving travel is going to be huge this year. The biggest so far since all this fiasco happened in America 3 years ago. More people on the road over the next few days. Be careful whether you're traveling by plane or car. There are a few that still travel by train, but for the most part, it's planes and cars for the majority of that. Be careful where you go. We don't want any incidents, but expect all that. The biggest headlines across America this morning, have y'all been following this? Chris Lee knows best. They got their sentencing yesterday. I thought it was actually going to be today, but as I was winding things down last night, taking a look at what was going on across America, they have passed sentence. Between the two of them, they will get 19 years in prison. He will get 12. His wife will get 7 years. They pleaded to let her out of this to where she could take care of the kids. It didn't happen. As the judge, she even made a comment, the wife did, that that youngest child that was adopted was suicidal with them leaving. It did not impress the judge. He said they were greedy, showed no signs of remorse for what they had done. It was all about the almighty dollar. Sentencing was passed. Now, this doesn't mean that somewhere down the road that they're in there, they won't get out for good behavior. We all know how that works, but some of the sentencing is more harsh than people that have done murder in some cases. I've heard people comment. Not sure that that's exactly right, but 12 and 6 is what they'll get. 12 and 7, let me back up on that, 19, doesn't add up there. But all TV shows have been canceled. They had 3 of them. This also takes away their kids' show, Going Up Chrisley or something like that. That show is gone also. Off the air they go. I could see how that would happen. His lover is the one that started all this, turned him in. Did y'all see that? Do y'all remember that? We'll leave it at that. Let's see here. Another scandal for New Orleans. Have y'all been keeping up with this? Well, the mayor down there made several trips, and every time they got ready to take an airplane ride, upgraded to first class, costing taxpayers over $40,000 or $60,000 over a period of years. She did agree to pay that back. Now, as they dig deeper into this, upgrades at hotels. Ooh, it gets deeper and deeper. Taxpayers' dollars being wasted. You know, a lot of times, and I don't know if y'all notice this, that when it comes to government officials and elected officials, whatever the answer is that they give you, they just expect you to 100% believe it. They don't like anyone to question them, and especially to dig in to find out more. No, I've done that right, and you're just supposed to accept that and walk away. I, for one, don't always believe what I'm told. Sometimes it's, what's the word I'm looking for? To check in on something, checkmate someone, so to speak, to make sure that they are telling the truth to the taxpayer. We used to have that in America, to where it was journalism. All these news companies, just because someone said it, there's nothing on that laptop. You wouldn't be interested in that. And whoo, all the media believed it. It's sad. It truly is, as we now know that most news agencies are now admitting that the Hunter Biden thing is actually true, and there's things on the laptop that could incriminate people. We'll see where it goes, but it's not only at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This comes down to a state level. Anybody remember that big scandal in the state of Mississippi? It still isn't settled, the welfare scandal. And it goes deeper than that. It goes down to city and county, and it's all across America. There is nothing wrong with questioning someone and going, explain this. I don't quite understand how you came up with this answer. But all too often, we get brushed off, and most journalism accepts it now. I do not. We'll keep going on that. Maybe there's some things around. We'll see what happens with that. They're still cutting more people at Twitter. Oh, boy. They've cut it from, let me see here, 7,000 employees to just under 3,000. Only 2,750 employees remain now at Twitter. That's a big, big change. I think he got a hold of the sales department yesterday. Still begging Donald to come back. Donald has not answered. I do think in the end Donald will give in on this because it's just too many people. It's at least 86 million followers on Twitter that follow him. Whether his site has that or not, I'm not sure. But that's 86 million people that you need to reach. Regardless, if you're going to run for president, you need to talk to those people, don't you? We'll check your forecast next. That's all coming up. I do hope your morning is going well. We'll check that next. Stay with us. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
And welcome back. And the reason I want to address this before anybody thinks I'm being ugly, the reason I haven't spoken to anyone, for some reason during the early part of that, the screen that shows your comments went away. I haven't been able to retrieve it. I'll fix that before the next show, so I apologize. I'll be able to read them after the show. Normally, I have them up in front of me to where I can see them while we're talking, and it went woof and went away. We'll get that fixed here in just a moment.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go to our forecast, 1973, it was a warm 82 degrees. Now, I know it says 823, but that's false. It's 82 was the high back in 1973. A typo as I put that together. Back in 08, can y'all believe this? That really, okay, it wasn't long ago, wasn't it? Yeah, 2008, it was 20 degrees. For some reason, 2008 just seems like a couple years ago to me. But it's not. My, how a decade can fly. I'm telling you how time flies. As we look to see what else is happening, this is our forecast for today throughout the Meridian area, 64. And we do have that slight chance of rain up through here. Now, we're seeing it really in reality. The National Weather Service, it was a bigger chance here, but it's going to be north of there, right up here around Mississippi State. 62 today. As we go south, it'll have 66 in Hattiesburg. Over to the west, 64 at Vicksburg. As we go east into Bama land, small chances of rain there also all through about 9 a.m. All of that will wander off. We're going to have sunshine later today. We'll have about 64 over most of the land, 63 there as we look at Livingston, Alabama. This is what we've got so far, the 6 to 10 day outlook as we start to see these temperatures creep up a little bit warmer into the 60s we go. Out to our west coming from California, headed toward Texas, cooler weather. It will eventually make it here. Trust me on that. As we look at our forecast today, 64, that 10% chance of rain. By tomorrow, on Wednesday, 68. And I hate to tell you all this, but it's looking very much like we're going to have a very wet Thanksgiving Day, a 60% chance at this point. It's gone back and forth between 60 and 70%, but it will be warm. By Friday, it decreases to a 40% chance if we have a Black Friday. Do we still have that? I'm kind of unsure of that. We'll have to check on that and see. Those things are kind of gone away since the pandemic. As we look to Saturday, 63, Sunday, 63, and it's just slight chances of rain there. But look at these temperatures. Look how much warmer we are where we were doing good to get to the 50s last week. We're up into the mid-60s. Let's go another week into the month. All the way through December the 6th, we'll hit 70 on the 29th. That's a warm day for us. And on the 30th there, that last day of November, 68, and then we're back to the 60s. Still warm, though, with slight chances of rain all the way through the 6th. Nothing bad as we'll watch the weather as it comes about. Now, what's the fishing going to do today? November the 22nd. Remember what today was, that day in Dallas that will never be forgotten. As we look at this, our best fishing times today brought to you by, of course, Chet's Paint and Body. It looks like we got a great time this morning all the way through 7. 5 minutes left on that. You'll get another time this afternoon beginning at 3:30 until 5:30. Let's call it 3:30 till dark. The wind's going to be calm, becoming northeast around 5 miles an hour, and it's an excellent day to fish. So I hope you can get out and do that. As we look at deer hunting, anybody out deer hunting today? Let's look at what your best times of that today is. Somewhere around lunchtime to about 2 is your major time to hunt today. And then as we see it, the second time is going to be after dark. So hit it. Do it good there today. Our best time to hunt is a noontime lunch if you're going to be out. Good luck to everybody as you head to the bushes there. Again, this morning, we want to remind you to join us live here, Facebook, YouTube, and also we'll be live on television at Fox 30. Amanda Snowden will be our special guest this morning. She's coming in from Snowden Real Estate. It's going to be fun. An old Kemper Countyan joining me this morning. It's the Kemper County week, I guess. Had Britt yesterday. She'll be here in a little while, kicking off at 8. Hope you'll join us. We'll learn a lot together as we begin this. Now, remember, on television this week, we lead into the big soccer games this week. Next week, our show will be preempted due to the fact that the soccer will start earlier. So we urge you, if you watch on television, to let a friend know that they can still watch us here. But next week, we'll have an issue with that due to the fact of the network has no say-so in it. It's a Fox decision nationwide. They cut to the soccer. So we'll still be here. You'll just have to watch us in a different way next week. More on the way. We do appreciate y'all being a part of this as we head towards 7 a.m. Y'all be careful. We'll find out more information as the morning goes along. Thanks so much for being a part of it with us.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: